Hey guys, welcome to the 50 Cal studio here at Center Target Firearms and Indoor Range. I'm Brett. This is Bobby, and our good guest
Guys.
this week, Donevon Storm with Farm Bureau. How
Yes,
are you,
sir. I'm
sir?
doing great. Good to see you
Good to
guys.
see
Good
you.
to see you,
Talk about an
Bobby.
interesting topic this
Yes,
week.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you
I'm
know,
excited.
Donovan, we have insurance for our cars, of
Yes,
course,
sir.
our homes,
Yes, sir.
our life,
Uh-huh.
even our pets.
Yes, sir.
I'm that guy.
Yep.
Uh,
They
but
save a lot of money too. I found that out the hard way.
yes. And one thing a lot of folks don't realize is
Mhm.
that, if you own firearms,
Yes,
um, you can get policies for that.
absolutely. Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand on the different types of policies that you have. You have mobile home policy, you have home policy, you got farm policies. All those policies pretty much are covered differently, but you do have some base coverage on for
Yeah.
your guns. But if you have apparel like a covered apparel like a windstorm, fire, then you would have coverage for just contents. But you can cover those guns for theft, but you have to have those guns listed.
Okay, so those guns, if on my policy, my insurance policy, I would have to have those specific guns or my guns listed on there before they would be covered. Correct?
Absolutely, for theft. And so what you would do, you guys like me would bring them into you all to get them appraised,
Right.
to get the guns appraised, and then we cover them for it's about $1.50, 100
Okay.
for the coverage if you want to give them covered for theft.
Right.
You can do if you've got a big collection, you got a $10,000 collection, let's say. You can get a kind of a blanket policy where
Mhm.
they center target or a gun manufacturer would give you an appraisal,
Right.
and then we could cover them based on the appraised value.
Right. So you guys need that appraisal too. I can't just bring a gun to you and say this gun's worth $50,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it got lost. Okay,
Exactly.
so it's got to have the appraisal,
Uh-huh.
and then I need to add it to that along with serial numbers. I would assume.
Serial
So
numbers,
it's accounted
yep,
for and all
absolutely.
that good stuff.
And then the most, and a good advice too for that, if you ever have a claim, take a picture of the gun,
Mhm.
take a picture of serial number, and that way when the adjuster adjusts your claim, they've got everything that they need. They don't have to search. You get paid quicker, and it's just a good thing, a good idea to take pictures and keep as much documentation away from your house as you
Yeah,
can.
I think a lot of us do. I do that right now.
Right.
Yes.
I do that right now. Every new firearm I buy from here, I take a picture of it and document the serial number and everything. And we have 3 books,
Absolutely.
different places because if you lose one, you
Mhm.
got, you got the backup.
Really good
and,
idea.
and the beauty here at Center Target as well is we have a lot of people that call in all the time
Sure.
and they'll say, I bought a gun or I lost a gun. Can you look me up? And we can retrieve
Yeah.
those numbers for
Oh,
them
that's a good idea.
really good
Yeah.
as well. But, having that down there for that. Now, what if we mentioned theft? What
Sure.
about storm damage, say a tornado comes, flood?
Yeah, if you have a covered peril claim, your HO2 policies, which is what the majority of people have,
Yep.
those are called covered peril claims. Windstorm, tornado, fire,
Mhm.
your contents will be covered, and your guns will be covered under that. The only
Okay.
caveat to that is you have to pay your deductible. So
Okay.
your base policies will have some coverage on them.
Yeah.
Most policies have $1,500 worth of coverage for guns,
Right.
but if you got $1,000 deductible, you're only going to get $500 for
So
that.
pay attention to that particular what the
Absolutely.
deductible
Look
is.
at your deductible.
All right,
deal.
we're going to get into to a very interesting and sometimes controversial topic.
Sure.
Is we all now know about the if we have it lost, we have it stolen, some of that. But let's talk about like the liability insurance. If I have the things that are standing out in my mind, one's an accidental discharge,
Sure.
or an intentional discharge
Mhm.
where I shoot an intruder.
Absolutely.
Let's just say even though they intrude into my house, there's no guarantee I won't be sued.
Sure. Absolutely.
Even though that's pretty clear to me, but nonetheless, you can still be sued for pretty much anything. So,
Mhm.
how do these policies, or are there policies that cover these two particular
Sure,
accidental
absolutely.
and intentional?
Intentional. Let's do unintentional
Okay.
first. So let's just say you are cleaning your gun and you don't realize there's one bullet left in
Okay.
it. You discharge it accidentally. It goes through your window into another house. If it's an unintentional discharge, that will be covered under your policy.
Yeah.
It will cover the property damage to the home or property that you hit, a car, whatever, and also any liability. So if you injure somebody, it's accidental, then you'll have the coverage for the accidental discharge. Now, the intentional discharge of a firearm, that's murky water
Yeah.
because some of the policies are covered peril, some of them are open peril. And so if it's a covered peril policy like windstorm, hailstorm, fire, you're not going to have the liability coverage for that. And so, you know, even if an intruder comes in,
Right.
you got that kind of policy, you intentionally pull a trigger to defend yourself, your family, you get sued, then you're not going to have coverage for that. So, what I did was I looked up several different companies offer
Mhm.
that kind of coverage. I think the NRA, which you all will be more familiar with than me, offers some liability
Okay.
coverage for homeowners and gun owners if you do an intentional discharge of the
Yes.
gun. So if you have a open peril policy, which those are the two different types of policies. There's that's kind of murky water about whether or not your insurance company
Okay.
will defend you in the case of a lawsuit.
Now, you said you were a Kentucky Farm Bureau
Yes.
here in
In London.
London.
Yeah.
I know we'll put a number or contact information for
Absolutely.
you up here at the end of it. But now all these questions, if somebody's got a question about these, they can call you up directly, and
absolutely.
you or your folks can
We'll help
answer
them
these
out.
questions
Absolutely.
specifically, and all the what ifs
Sure.
that could come down the pike.
Sure.
You
'Cause
know, insurance is tricky. It
Yes.
really is, and there is a
Mhm.
lot of companies carry your concealed carry insurance.
Sure.
Your home insurance is totally different. I mean, it's
Mhm.
hard to just a guy on the street who's carrying or has weapons at home. It's good information to find this out because we don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, some of the stuff you're talking about, I didn't know.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
in,
me. I'm
I
like,
mean, it's
in
like
26 years, I've seen about everything, but not everything, I'm sure. But what I've found out doing this is most people don't find out
Yeah.
what until it
Right.
happens, and that's what I try to prevent. When you come in, there's so many endorsements that you can get to your add to your policy
right.
that will help you as a gun
Yeah.
owner, or jewelry. You know, you got some china your grandmother left you, but you got to get there are endorsements out there for it, but you
Yeah.
got to
And
look
trying
for
to
'em.
find that balance too. That's why I think it's always good to have somebody you can talk to, as opposed to getting your insurance online. I like
Sure.
talking to somebody,
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
specifically, because I found out a long time ago. Insurance is it's one of those things that sometimes you get frustrated. It's like, I don't. This is a what if thing, what
Sure.
if thing. But when you have the what if, boy, that's when it really comes in handy. But walking that fine line with, okay, I need at least this much,
Yes.
but I really don't need that.
Right.
I don't need a $20 million life insurance policy,
Right.
but my wife may think I do. But I need a life. I need
Sure.
something. So where is that at? And I think just having somebody where the folks can ask these questions, because for me, you're mentioning peril, non-peril, and I'm like, okay, I don't really know what that means. Now I'm
Right.
figuring it out. Okay,
Sure,
so
sure.
I need to ask those
Yeah,
blunt
ask those
questions like,
questions.
okay,
Yeah.
I shoot an intruder and this happens, and you answered those, and that's really good.
You're not going to get a lot of questions like that answered online or
Oh, you
on the
can't.
telephone. So you go see your local guy.
Yes.
And no matter where you're at, I mean, we have viewers to this channel from all over. Check with your local agents. Talk to
Yes,
them. Sit
absolutely.
down. They're like, go see Donovan if you're here. Sit down and talk
Mhm.
to you about that
Absolutely.
because it is tricky. Insurance across the board is, and for something like this, I can't imagine talking to somebody over the phone on it.
Yeah, exactly. We found out over the years that, there's so many endorsements that you can put on your policy people
Yeah.
don't even realize about until they've had a claim.
Sure.
And then, but there's also that balance that you're talking about. You want to make sure that your coverage is affordable.
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah.
want to be paying, but at the same time, there are things that we have people, unfortunately, over the years that they come in. I want to get it as cheap as I can possibly get it, and then they have a claim happen to a specific item. Well, you've got some coverage, but you don't have it fully covered.
Exactly.
Well, if I don't, but there's that fine balance. So we try to, when you come in to do your initial interview, we try to get that
Right.
balance.
Or I've got a $2,000 pistol, or I've got a $2,000 car, and I've got $5,000 deductible. I mean, what's
Right.
the purpose
Yeah.
other than checking the box, obviously, on a vehicle, other than keeping us safe, legal? I
Yes.
guess is
Yeah.
a better term, more so than safe. Like driving a vehicle. But either way, we need to be legal from a car standpoint, but we
Yeah.
also got to be reasonable, make sure we've got enough. We're getting some money back out of it in the event we have an issue or we have a
Absolutely.
problem.
Absolutely.
And having somebody that financial advisor, if you will,
Sure.
to tell us what we need, because nobody needs it till it
Till it happens.
happens.
Yeah.
And everybody's mad because, well, man, I didn't know I had a $2,000
Yeah.
deductible, or I didn't
Right.
know I had a this. Yeah, that's going to make the rate cheaper the higher the deductible, but
Mhm.
obviously that's also going to you're going to pay for it at the end of the day if something were to
If
happen.
something happens, yeah, if you have a claim and you have an endorsement, they will take first dollar deductible out.
Right.
And so we have had it's a lot of people don't have that kind of gun collection. One of the things that you struck me with just a minute ago was if you have your gun stolen and you have one of the liability issues that's popped up nationwide is did you have those guns stored? For example,
right.
if that gun is stolen and and somebody goes out and injures somebody with that gun, did Bobby have that gun stored properly?
Right.
Did you take proper precaution to secure that gun?
Mhm.
And if it goes out and it's used in commission of a felony, or then they could come back and say, you know what measures did you take to
Right.
secure that gun in your home?
Sure.
Basically saying I was negligent for not securing it better.
There you go. And the
Okay.
negligence is the big thing. And insurance negligence is the issue. So I'll give you an example. If you have a known issue and you don't
Absolutely.
fix it, that's negligence.
Same way with law enforcement. I mean, gross negligence, failing to do something that you knew you should have done, or you should have
Exactly.
trained for or prepared for.
Exactly. Perfect. That's exactly right. We had a situation where a lady had a nail in her step, but she had a renter there, and the renter had told her over months, this nail's popping up.
Sure.
We need to get it fixed, and so forth. They had a couple of so anyway. Eventually, the lady ended up tripping over the nail and falling, and the owner was negligent because they were aware of the problem. They didn't fix the problem. So that's where you get into the negligence.
Okay. Yeah.
Liability.
Now I want to talk just a little bit because I like the historical, and I know Brett's he was a big history guy too. But Kentucky Farm Bureau.
Yes, sir.
Kentucky Farm Bureau is I can remember being a little boy and looking at like magazines that my grandmother and grandfather would get from Kentucky
Yes.
Farm
Yeah.
Bureau, and you
Uh-huh.
look at those, and so it's been around a long
100
time.
years. 100 years. Yeah.
And you're part of a. I know I'm with Kentucky Farm Bureau. There's my
Yeah.
prop.
We're glad you are. We're glad you are. Glad
and we become we're a member or something every
Yes.
year.
your membership fee. Yeah,
Membership.
yeah,
That's what it is.
to get the
I just
insurance-
send the money. I don't know. What it
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. Well, to be a part of Farm Bureau, you have to be a member.
Sure.
And one of the member services we offer is insurance. And so 100 years ago, the rural parts of Kentucky weren't being offered insurance. So Farm Bureau Federation decided to come up with an insurance company. And now we are 100 years old. We're the largest domiciled company in Kentucky, and it's domiciled here in Kentucky. And
Right.
I'm just so proud to be working with Farm Bureau. And we try to be good to our people because we all live here.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And Farm Bureau does a lot for their customers. I know I've been part of in the broadcast area, part of Farm Bureau Days that Knox County has a
Yes.
big one, and a lot of areas do. And they do a lot to just say thank you for
Absolutely.
this.
They put back into the
They
to
do,
the
they
community.
really do, yeah.
Yeah, we really do. In September, our fish fry here is coming up in September.
Catfish.
Yes.
Catfish, yeah. So there you go. We'll have catfish here in September. So yeah, we try to do it for customer appreciation, and Farm Bureau does. We paid over $500,000 in scholarships for high school kids last year.
That's awesome.
We're really committed to Kentucky, and that's why we locally, we want people to come in and see us at the
Right.
local office because that's where the kind of the hub of all the other member benefits
Yeah.
that we offer. And so that's why we encourage people, use your local agent and come in, ask us these questions because you really don't know them until you have something bad happen,
Right.
and then you find out after the fact. And so we try to mitigate that at the beginning, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
super proud to work for Farm Bureau.
Oh yeah, that's just I just thought back about that. It's just the history
Yeah.
of Kentucky Farm Bureau.
Absolutely.
So if somebody wanted to, we're going to plug now. If
Sure.
somebody
Yeah.
wanted to come and see you to get a better rate, whatever the case may be, where are you located?
I'm
at?
located at 1456 Cumberland Gap Parkway in
Okay.
Corbin, first Corbin exit there, exit 29. But we work all over Laurel. We work all over Laurel County, and we really have a really good staff, friendly staff, and my girls are very well trained. Worked
Good
in the
deal.
business a long time, and
It means a lot too.
Yeah.
I've been in places where and I being a state trooper and being in different public service, I pay your salary and all these things, and I'm always a little bit
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. But you do like that good customer service, and when
Absolutely.
you go in a place where you're giving them your money and they're like, act like they're doing you a favor by being there, it kind of. Yeah, and it's awesome to hear that that's not the case.
No,
and,
no.
and that people.
we got 2 Google reviews last week, which really made me proud. Both my ladies are professional CSRs.
What are their names?
Melissa and Miranda.
So see Melissa.
See Melissa and
right?
Miranda. They're really, really good. And but seriously, we got people say, they're so friendly. And when you come in, I want my ladies and my staff to have a smile
Uh-huh.
because people can take their business anywhere.
Right.
I want them to have good service here when they come in here, and even on products that we can offer, like for example, a national gun liability that would pay if you do have to intentionally discharge your.
Yeah.
We don't really sell that,
Right.
but I'm glad to point people in the direction. Hey, we don't do
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely.
I give them the right advice and say, look, you might need to look at something where you can get an intentional discharge covered,
Yeah.
or if you don't really have your guns, or if they're used or stolen or used in a intentionally discharged, you get sued. I want to make sure that those people are covered if they come ask me that question. Does that make sense?
So when they come in to see you, they
Yes,
need
sir.
to get the appraisal.
Yes.
They need to get the information.
Yes.
And come see you and talk about it. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
simple. It's really simple.
It really is. And what I was going to say, one other thing that you just reminded me of on the appraisal part of it. So if you get an appraisal and it's $1,000, what they do is they cover the gun, the appraised value of that gun, or you can also do your whole collection, and it will be subject to your deductible if you have a loss for theft.
So they can bring them in here to Center Target. We'll appraise them for you.
Absolutely.
We
There
may
we
try
go.
to trade
Bring
you
that-
out of one of them.
Bring that appraisal
Because
in.
you don't
and
want
you-
somebody come in and say, Donovan, this high point
It's
Oh,
$20,000
yeah.
right here, baby.
Well,
this is a special. This is a special.
Yeah.
high point.
You hit a really good point because on your appraised value, because we see appraised value, like
Yeah.
on jewelry, we'll get a ring that
Sure.
the jewelry store say this is worth $25,000. Okay, we pay out that coverage amount at 75% of your appraised value,
Right.
Because we know sometimes those are getting inflated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that appraisal is still super important.
Sure.
And so I don't know, you guys are the experts on the guns. And so, yeah, I know a little bit about guns, but you know how much a gun's worth. And so you get that appraisal, bring it in. We endorse your policy. You'll get that endorsement back in the mail in about 7 business days. And then you know that you've got the coverage that you're wanting. And that premium is every year. You can adjust it yearly too. Once you get your deck sheet and the renewal, you get about 30 days ahead of time. Review your coverage every year. That's my advice.
Yeah.
And if you want to make any changes, just call us. We'll be glad to make them.
And you mentioned cost for which specifically we're talking guns.
Sure.
Here. So you say about
About $1.50 per 100.
about $1.50 per 100. Now, obviously, that varies depending on a few
Yes,
circumstances.
exactly.
And options to pay. I'm assuming they can pay lump sum. They can pay month. There's a
Yeah.
lot of variable options.
We
with
do
that,
now
too.
have. We just went to where now we have. You can pay monthly in our office or online, and we also have bank draft. So you can do any of those payment options, and it really makes it convenient. But where I see the biggest problem with people is, especially on people that own their homes for more than 10 years, they never change their coverage. They never looked at renewal when it comes in. You may have got.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, you may have got a
think
new mower,
everybody is.
or you may have built an outbuilding,
Yeah.
and just review your policy.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You got our wheels turning, Dom, and I'm
Sure.
telling you. And he's an L8 guy too. So
I love
yeah,
L8s. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yeah, I love L8. You can't beat L8.
You really can't. But with everything we talked about, it's important as a owner of firearms to always be responsible. Keep them in a safe. Keep them in a safe part of your home, and so forth. And insurance makes sense. It really
Yes.
does. After talking to you, it really makes sense if you have a large collection, or a few.
Sure.
Make sure you document everything. Make sure you have that documentation, whether it be serial numbers, pictures, in a book, in your safe, maybe 2 or 3 copies of that.
Yes.
And that way, and go see Donovan here, and he
Yeah,
can
and
help
we
you.
and we also will, if you'll bring us that list, we'll
Yeah.
keep a copy at our
Okay.
office.
All
And
right.
also, I like the idea that you all keep a list here too.
Yeah, we've got access. We keep everything.
Yeah, so that's a
Per
so
ATM.
several good.
Yeah,
you can't
well,
have
yeah.
enough.
Them guys
You
are
can't
kind of
have enough.
picky about stuff like
That's
that.
true.
So
That's
They're
true.
serious about that.
Absolutely.
But Donovan, thank you so much. This has been enlightening.
Absolutely.
And,
I've enjoyed it.
thank you for what Farm Bureau does for the state
Absolutely.
of Kentucky.
Absolutely.
And, you're representing them today. So
Yeah, absolutely. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you guys. Thanks, Joe, for inviting me, and love to come back and do it again sometime.
Get us one of these blue Kentucky.
I
Yeah, I
like
think-
that
I
shit.
think I
Yeah,
can
look
hook
at
you
that
guys
cowboy
up.
Shirts too.
I think I can hook you
Kinda
guys
soft.
up on the Farm
the
Bureau.
insurance guys always, every insurance guy I know dresses nice.
Yeah,
And
thank
they,
you.
they have branded stuff.
Oh,
wearing,
yeah,
so
oh,
it's-
yeah. I think I can hook you guys up with
Extra
some Farm Bureau
large.
stuff.
Oh yeah, bro.
Extra large.
All right, we're easy then.
All right. Sounds great.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We really appreciate everyone taking a look at our videos. We have fun with it. It's You know, we're not professionals here by
No.
no means, but we have fun.
We're a lot this off the cuff. I mean,
Yeah.
we literally
Yeah.
go off. The
Bobby's
cuff.
the information. I'm here for looks. But anyway, like and subscribe. Check out Donovan, and for all your insurance needs, check him out. And firearm insurance, especially, that's something that no one thinks about. So, guys, we'll see you next week.
God
Thank you
bless.
very much.